What's going on, New York football Giants fans? It's been a minute since I uploaded a Giants video on the channel. Wanted to bring you guys two hot button topics that the Giants and the Giant fan are going to be discussing for the foreseeable future. That is the future of Wan'Dale Robinson. Do we re-sign him? Or the future of Kayvon Thibodeaux? What do we do? Do we let him play on that fifth-year option? Is he going to hold out? Do we trade him? Do we give him a long-term deal? All those questions I will answer in this video, breaking down their statistics, breaking down what they mean to the Giant fan base, and I will give you guys my opinion on what we should do with those two players. But guys, if you are into Giants content all of the time, draft buzz, combine buzz, who the Giants are drafting, who the Giants are signing in free agency, NFL trade buzz. We heard Adam Schefter talking about how NFL teams are going to be more active in the trade market, which Joe Schoen has been a big fan of, a la Brian Burns. We've seen that he's been active in the trade market. But guys, I need you to like, share, subscribe to this channel so we could have all the Giant content we want, and I could keep bringing you guys all the New York Giant content that I'm going to be covering, which will be everything that I just mentioned, draft, free agency, all the way up until September when the New York Giants kick off against God knows who, but hopefully they will start 1-0. Let's just straight get into the topics of the video, and then I'm going to show you guys the statistics of these players, and I'll give you guys my opinion on what these players and why I think should they be brought back or should they not be brought back. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you want these players back. We're going to start with Wan'Dale. Wan'Dale's a hot button one. Wan'Dale is a guy with basically 2 productive seasons and 2 non-productive seasons. One because he got hurt, not his fault. He tore his ACL. Not much you could do about that. So I'm going to get into the stats first with Wan'Dale, just so we could get those out of the way. And I want to show you guys something that I deem alarming as a guy who's I'm on the fence about Wan'Dale Robinson, right? So we go into his rookie year. He started 3 games, played 6, tore his ACL. Very unfortunate for him. Wound up with 23 catches, 227 yards, and a tutty. 23, 8 games started, 15 games played. Wound up going for 60 catches, 525 yards, and a touchdown. And you go to 2024, probably his best season in terms of the catch. You look at that, 93 catches for 699 yards and 3 touchdowns. That, to me, is not impressive at all. You want to say it was the Giant offense. You want to say it was the check down. You want to say it was a lot of stuff. This does not impress me. 93 catches for 700 yards does not impress me at all. I cannot have that. I cannot have 7.5 yards a carry, 7.5 yards a catch on 93 catches. The following year, a lot better for Wan'Dale, right? 92 catches on 1,014 yards, 11 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns, his absolute best season. Played in 16 out of the 17 games and also started 15 of those games. You look at Wan'Dale, you look at the frame, and you look at the guy that a lot of fans are – there's fans that are more divided on Wan'Dale Robinson than a lot of people think, okay? I'm of the mindset where if it's Wan'Dale Robinson asking me for $16, $17+ million, I'm not giving him that contract. I'm sorry, but I'm just not doing it, okay? In a small sample size, you saw Gunnar Olszewski be able to play the slot just as well as Wan'Dale. And you also, in 2022, when Wan'Dale, although he was a rookie, did tear his ACL in 2022, and you saw Richie James slide into that slot and play very, very well with that 2022 New York Giants football team, with Daniel Jones at quarterback. Richie James was one of the better slot receivers in football that year, okay? So, again, is Wan'Dale replaceable? Yes, he is. I don't want to give a long-term 3-4 year deal to Wan'Dale Robinson. The body frame scares me a lot. He's remained relatively healthier over the last 2 seasons, but those first 2 seasons have creeped me out a little bit, especially with the ACL. And I'm on the fence, man. I'm on the fence with Wan'Dale because the body frame does scare me, right? Out of the slot especially. His yards per reception are not impressive at all. You look back at 2024 when he had the 93 catches for under 700 yards. You want to blame the offense. You want to blame the quarterback play. I understand that. But to get those 93 catches by just getting checked down after 3-yard reception, after check down, after short pass, to me, that's not impressive. It's not impressive at all. No yards after catch in 2024, which I was not impressed at as well. And the fact that Richie James was able to slide in 2022 after Wan'Dale hurt his ACL, Richie James played as one of the best slot receivers in football that year. All right, so I don't want to sit here and act like I'm hating on Wan'Dale Robinson, but I think he's easily replaceable. And I know he's a dog, and I know Wan'Dale is a giant at heart. You could just see it when the Giants drafted him. He's got that fight in him, and I love that about him. But now it's time to pay him. And when it comes to paying guys, things start to flip in your mind and change. I can't just hand out $15, $16, $17 million to Wan'Dale Robinson and be perfectly fine with that. I cannot do it. And it has nothing to do with paying Darius Slayton the year prior, because that we know that was already a mistake. I would feel this way just as much even if we hadn't paid Darius Slayton that contract yet. I'm weary on Wan'Dale. I don't want to give him a long-term deal. If you could meet me to where Wan'Dale is that Khalil Shakir type contract where it's 4 to 5 years at $11.5 million per, I can meet you there. I'm fine with that. Based off of Wan'Dale's production over the first 4 seasons of his NFL career, I think that's more than fair. I think that's a fair contract to offer him. Whether he takes it or not is a completely different story. If he winds up back with Brian Daboll on the Tennessee Titans, that's another story as well, that I could see a team just giving him that $15, $16 million. I don't want to allocate that money to Wan'Dale as a slot receiver that I could replace pretty easily in the draft or even in free agency with a guy like Alec Pierce. That's the part where we all take a break, take a sip of water or something. Going on to Kayvon Thibodeaux as well. This is a guy that's even more controversial than Wan'Dale Robinson. So Kayvon's a guy, you look at his rookie year, I was hyped about Kayvon Thibodeaux, man. 14 starts, 14 games. Wound up the season with 4 sacks. I think he had 2 of those against the Colts. And one of those was against the Washington Commanders in that big Sunday night game. Played in all 17 games the following year. Had 11.5 sacks, his best sack production year. The pressures aren't there for Kayvon. The quarterback hits are never usually there for Kayvon, which scare me. 2024, played in 12 games, missed 5, had 5.5 sacks. Not the worst. And then last year, wound up playing 10 games with only 2.5 sacks. Actually, with Kayvon, and you look at those statistics, guys, with Kayvon, it's weird, right? Because I looked at Kayvon Thibodeaux last year, 2025, and I actually thought he was off to probably the best start of his NFL career so far through 4 seasons. I thought what he was doing in terms of taking away a lot of the pressure from a guy like Burns and helping Abdul Carter, he was playing his best in run defense. And if I'm going to be paying a guy like Kayvon at this point, I'm not giving him the productivity advantage that I might think that he has, although I think last year he was playing his best. As of the first 7 or 8 weeks of 2025, I did think Kayvon was playing his best football of his career. The numbers might not have showed it, but going back and watching the tape, I thought Kayvon was dominating more at the line of scrimmage than the previous 3 seasons, and that includes the 11.5 sack season, playing his absolute best run defense of his career so far. Whether that has to do with him wanting to get paid or not, we don't know that type of stuff, but I think Kayvon going into his... This is the dangerous part about Kayvon Thibodeaux. Going into his make-or-break year, where it's year 5, I'm going for the big contract. He's going to command $20 to $25+ million a year. I don't think the Giants are in a position, although they are set up very well cap-wise after this year moving forward. I think they're in a good position cap-wise to make the contract signing, but I don't think I want to make the contract signing with Kayvon Thibodeaux. I don't want to give him $25 million a year when the production is not going to match that number. Now, a lot of guys get these numbers in free agency, and they just never match, and I get that. I completely understand it. Kayvon's a homegrown guy. People are going to want to attach themselves to Kayvon because he's a homegrown guy, but, like, I can't not think about how it's so weird. It's so weird with Kayvon, right? Like, I can't not think about how excited I were. I can't not think about how excited I was when the Giants drafted Kayvon Thibodeaux. He was my favorite player in the entire draft class. Not the best player. He was my favorite player in the class. So I was really excited when the Giants were able to select him at pick number 5. And the production in year 1 wasn't all there. And I get it. He was a rookie, but he was the 5th overall pick in the draft. And I expected more. And I got that in 2023 when he had 11.5 sacks. Albeit, like 7 of those sacks were against backup guards and backup tackles and really bad offensive line play. 2024, he misses 5 games. 2025, he misses 7 games. He seems to always be on the injury report, has that bug in him, that injury bug that I just don't trust. And I know people fall in love with Kayvon, the personality. I got the guy's jersey, for crying out loud. I bought his jersey. So I was a huge fan. People, I think, fall more in love with Kayvon Thibodeaux's personality than his production on the field. And it hurts to hear it, and I get it. I'm not hating. I love the Giants, guys, but I can't go into next year paying Wan'Dale Robinson and also paying Kayvon Thibodeaux. I can't do it. Me personally, I don't think John Harbaugh will do it. I don't think Joe Schoen's going to do it. And I think that will be the right decision for the franchise. You're going to allocate $15+ million for Wan'Dale, and then you're going to give Kayvon $25 million a season with what he's probably going to command on the open market. So that's $40 million for 2 players who are not overly productive for the New York Giants. I can't fall in love with that when I could find replaceable pieces. I have a replaceable piece for Kayvon Thibodeaux already in Abdul Carter, who's going to thrive in year 2. And I could get a replaceable piece in a guy like Alec Pierce, who's more productive in yards per reception with half the receptions than Wan'Dale Robinson, and I could probably get him for cheaper. So these are decisions that John Harbaugh is going to have to make. I'm not saying I wouldn't bring these guys back, but I'm also not saying I'm going crazy to bring them back. So what are your thoughts as New York Giants fans? If you got this far in the video, let me know. More Giants content coming out soon, guys. Appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you, guys.